All right, everybody, welcome to the Selma City Council regular meeting. It's Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo, 2026, in the Selma City Council chambers, 1710 Tucker Street, Selma, California. The teleconference phone number is 1301-715-8592. The webinar ID is 891-6864-5005. When on the phone, if you wish to address the council during the public comment part of the agenda, press star 9 to raise your hand, and we will select you from the meeting queue. Press star 6 to unmute and mute yourself. Notice to meeting attendees. Members of the audience shall not engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including the utterance of threatening or abusive language or other acts which disturb, disrupt, or impede or otherwise render the orderly conduct of a city council meeting infeasible. Tonight, before we call to order, I would like everyone to please join me in bowing your heads for a moment of silence for James Brockett, who is born and raised in Selma. He was Selma's city manager, Selma's police chief, and Selma's mayor. Also, he was a Marine who went to war in Korea, and he passed away on April 25th. We'd also like to have a moment of silence for a great friend, Joyce Kaysen, who passed away on April 30th. So would everyone please bow your heads for a moment? Okay, thank you for this moment of remembrance. Would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Robertson,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Here.
Councilmember Avalos,
Here.
Councilmember Segura,
Here.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Here.
Okay, our invocation tonight is by Minister Santiago J. Martinez from the Antioch Church.
And thank you for having me here tonight, and happy Cinco de Mayo. Let's put this in God's hands. Father, we humbly come before you in prayer. We pray for wisdom, guidance, and direction. We ask that you give us the ability to use your understanding and not our own, Lord. We pray and we thank you for every blessing, big and small. We ask that you continue to bless us all in this city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor.
Let's please stand for the pledge. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, potential conflicts of interest. Any council member who has a potential conflict of interest may now identify the item and recuse themselves from discussing and voting on the matter. Agenda changes or deletions to better accommodate members of the public or inconvenience in the order of presentation. Items on the agenda may not be presented or acted upon in the order listed. Additions to the agenda may be added only pursuant to California Government Code, Section 54954.2B. City Attorney, do we have any such changes or deletions this evening?
Nothing to add or to delete, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, City Attorney. With that, we will move on to oral communications at this time. Any member of the public may address City Council regarding any item on the regular meeting agenda over which the council has jurisdiction. No action or discussion will be taken on any item not on the agenda. Issues raised will be referred to the city manager for review. Members of the public are asked to limit their remarks to 3 minutes. Do we have any such oral communications at this time? If so, please come forward.
Hi, good evening, council member and residents of Selma. My name is Nick Zahota, and I'm truly honored to be here with you tonight. I'm a lifelong resident of Central Valley and a farmer over 35 years and a business owner more than 25 years. I'm currently trustee with the Selma Unified School District. I'm also on a Central Valley Engineering and Surveying, where it's more than 15 years. I have worked closely with the cities like Selma in infrastructures, development, and long-term planning. I'm here tonight because I'm running for a Fresno County Board of Supervisor District 4. But more importantly, I'm here because the Selma matters to me personally. I have lived here nearly 40 years. Selma, the regional capital of the world, is built on agriculture, hardworking, and strong families. I have been proud to be served this community through the Selma Rotary, Chamber of Commerce, downtown business improvements, and during the COVID, I helped from SEVA, which is more than 200,000 meals to the family in need. Since opening my engineering firm here in 2008, I have always believed that Selma potentially, and I believe that we can do better together when we are united. We move forward when we are divided. Progress slows. When elected, I will be a strong advocate for Selma at the county level, making sure the city receives its fair share of resources, that including ensuring the Measure C and transportation funds are used to repair Selma aging roads and a family rely on every day. With my engineering surveying background, I understand that infrastructure is not just concrete and pipes, it's an opportunity. Roads, water, sewer, and planning determine whether a city grow on or fall behind. I will work on support small businesses and encourage responsible development and addressing house affordability so we can keep the workforce here in our community. Public safety will remain on a priority. I respect the work of a sheriff department, and I will ensure that they will resources needed to be keep Selma and the surrounding area are safe. We have an important investment in the Golden State Boulevard Corridor project, but we need a more project that directly benefits City of Selma. I'm also a support initiative that Farm Food Future Program, bringing a federal investment in advanced ag technology, support small farmer, and create good paying jobs. We must make sure Selma is a part of the future. At the same time, we must thoughtful about growth, balancing economic development with the protecting agriculture land. We cannot rely on one industry alone. We must diversify. Support local businesses, create jobs while preserving the farming heritage and define the city as a farmer. I understand the water. At an engineering background, I understand the infrastructure. As a business owner, I understand the jobs. Selma does not need a one-size-fits-all solution. Selma need a leadership that understands the challenges and are ready to deliver results. When elected.
Mr. Sahota, thank you. Appreciate it. We appreciate you coming out. We can't endorse any political candidate, but we very.
I'm here to be
appreciate you
just
coming out
informing
for oral
method.
communications.
Thank you. That's my oral communication. So I'm looking forward on June 2nd election.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anybody else with oral communications at this time? Anybody online or on the phone?
Mayor, I see no hands raised at this time.
Pastor has a comment?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, public. I just want to extend an invitation as we're celebrating our 75th National Day of Prayer. I'd like to invite everybody to Lincoln Park, where we'll be joining at 12 o'clock together to pray for the city of Selma, for our city officials, for our law enforcement, and for our first responders. We just like to invite everybody to come out and pray for the residents of Selma and our great city. And I just want to tell you guys, there'll be nachos afterwards. So come and join us, but not for the nachos, for prayer. Okay? God bless you guys. My name is Pastor Joe Alvarez. Thank you for this moment.
Thank you, Pastor.
Go Dodgers. We're losing though.
Maybe Otani will get a hit one of these games. Anybody else? Okay. Thursday, National Day of Prayer. Got it. Thank you. With that, we're going to move on to our special presentations tonight. Our first one is a special recognition for the Heartland High School Certificate of Recognition. Communications Director.
Mayor, members of the council, what you have in front of you is the City of Selma Certificate of Recognition to Heartland High School in recognition of being named a 2026 Model Continuation High School by the California Department of Education. This prestigious statewide honor recognizes Heartland High School outstanding program, exemplary instruction, and commitment to supporting every student's success. Heartland is commended for its individualized learning, student-centered support, and dedication to helping students achieve academic and personal growth. At this moment, I'd like to invite staff to come up and take a photo.
Cheers. Get in the picture. Go, you gotta get it. Scott, you're the short one in the group, right? Take a seat. The big guy's getting away. Come back in. A little bit more to the side.
Now I can see everyone's face. At this moment, I'd like to invite any staff to go to the podium and say some words.
Good evening, council members, City Manager Rogers, and Mayor Robertson. Thank you guys for having us here tonight. I truly appreciate it. It's such an honor. What's a great honor too is to showcase this amazing school. I just want a quick little bit of a story. Over 3 years ago when I started out here, walked Heartland as my first school to walk through, and I think some of you guys know because I was taking pictures of things going, okay, we got some changes to make here. And it started with great leadership, great staff, great students and families coming together with the plan, raising the bar, high expectations. And 3 years later, they got a Model School Award of California, and they just got back from Burbank. Amazing work by amazing people, and I'm just lucky to be around them. So thank you guys for honoring us tonight. I do want to introduce our principal real quick. He has a few words here to tell you guys here. Oh, there he is right there.
Good evening. I'm Jonathan Farley, the principal at Heartland High School, and the reviewing team made comments on the exemplary program, but more than that, on the amazing team that we have at the school. And I'd like to introduce right now Mr. Joe Shai, who's here representing our college and our career technical education programs. Ms. Miramontes, who represents our math department, which she led over 60-point increase in test scores last year. And Ms. Olea, who is our administrative assistant, who makes sure everything at the school continues to run. And more than that, the team was very impressed with our student body and who we have on our campus and their dedication to their future between the college and careers. And to represent our student body today, we have an exemplary student. This is Mario Nevarez. He's just completed 9 federal certifications for wildland firefighting. Completed a training, a 2-day training just a week ago up at Sequoia Lake. And he truly exemplifies excellence of the students that we represent here at Heartland High School. Thank you very much for this recognition tonight.
I want to thank you folks for coming out. It's a well-deserved honor. Thank you for doing Selma so proud. I was out along with Councilman Avalos for the fentanyl presentation. The students were so attentive. Staff was amazing. You could just feel the mutual caring going on there. So thank you for setting the bar so high for schools everywhere in California. We're really proud of you. Did any other council members have a comment at this time?
Oh, yeah. I have something to say. Heartland's, your staff is phenomenal. Okay. And without your staff, in the school districts that are I want to say A1 hardworking teachers that care about the students, that makes everything very proud of the school and the students. When they leave, their dignity and proud stays inside, but they never forget the teacher. Trust me. It's basically the short guy.
Thank you. That will move on to our item 2 for special presentations, which is a Cal Water Certificate of Recognition.
Mayor, members of the council, what you have in front of you is the City of Selma Certificate of Recognition to California Water Service Company in recognition of California Water Service for its valued partnership with the City of Selma and continued commitment to the residents that they serve. Through its generous sponsorships of community events, dedication to meaningful outreach, and the focus on providing dependable service, California Water Service has helped strengthen community connection and the quality of life in Selma. I'd like to invite them up to take a photo now.
Yeah.
I'd like to invite representatives up to the podium to say a few words, please.
Good evening, everybody. I want to say thank you for having us here. I definitely want to say thanks to our department heads who work with me every single day and keep me on track. We really appreciate the time and effort in this and recognizing Cal Water for 100 years of service. In getting a little choked up here, sorry. We're going to have a Water Awareness Festival / 100-year celebration, May 20th in Lincoln Park. The community is invited to come on out. The food will be free. We'll have some entertainment for the children. We're going to have an art contest and give away some native plants that are drought resistant for everybody. And for another token of our appreciation, I've brought my staff here to help out hand out challenge coins, which commemorate our strong ties in the community for building Selma. And if you guys can help me hand these out to everybody, that'd be wonderful.
Go to Mayo. Green. Nice. Good. Thanks to Cal Water and thanks for your quality service value and your commitment for so many years to Selma and all the communities you serve. We really appreciate it. And thank you for going above and beyond like you just showed. You come out and you're a huge part of our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to say, on a personal note, I just want to thank Mike because he's been instrumental to our Selma Live events and also the spay and neuter. They came out and did donated $4,000 for the spay and neuter program. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, with that, we will move on to item 3 of our special recognitions, and this is the National Public Works Week proclamation.
And we have Director Han on the phone. Director Han, did you want to speak on this proclamation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Again, we appreciate the recognition for American Public Works Association's Appreciation Week. This is an annual event that takes place nationwide throughout public works departments for the service that they provide to their communities. This year's week of appreciation is the 18th through the 22nd, and we will be joining the Friday Night Live event on the 22nd, and we will be set up around Lincoln Park. And we invite everybody to come out and join us for a celebration and an opportunity to talk to your local public works employees and just discuss what we do for the city and answer any questions that you may have. I believe tonight I have my supervisor, Ulysses Matavia, is in chambers to accept this proclamation.
Great. Okay, with that, I'm going to, thank you, Director. I'm going to read the proclamation, then I'm going to present it to the Deputy Director. This is a proclamation from the City of Selma for National Public Works Week, May 17th through 23rd, 2026. Whereas the Public Works Department provides services for our community and are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed community is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as streets, storm drains, fleet maintenance, public buildings, and parks maintenance. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials, and whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff the Public Works Department is influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Scott Robertson, Mayor of the City of Selma, on behalf of my fellow council members, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week in the City of Selma, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing public works services to our community and to recognize the contributions which public works employees make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Proclaim this 5th day of May 2026. Scott Robertson, Mayor. Sarah Guerra, Mayor Pro Tem. Jim Avalos, Council Member. John Trujillo, Council Member. And Santiago Oseguera, Council Member. Come on up, Ulysses. Okay, council comments?
Yeah, you know, Public Works is, they're kind of the hardworking staff behind the scenes. They make the parks and everything looks in the streets, the Christmas decorations and all these events that are taking place in our community. Without the public works making it happen, you know, and they're a great asset to our community. They make our streets and our parks look clean and everything. They mow the grass in case we have a special event. They're jolly on the spot, making things, make sure everything's done correctly and all cleaned up for a special, anything that's happening in our city. We thank them for it. Thank you.
Clearly agree. And you know, that Public Works are first responders as well. I'm really happy that they're finally included in the group of first responders. And I mean, you could call them at all hours, go through the city manager contacts the director, and there's always someone to help our city. For instance, we were on the route for the Sikh parade a couple weekends ago, a couple Sundays ago. We went under that bridge on Rose Avenue, and there was graffiti there. So, you know, I contacted city manager, public works director, and when we went through the tunnel the first time, it was still there. When we came back, on our way back, it was gone. You talk about being on the spot, and that was a Sunday. So thank you to Public Works for, you know, always being so responsive and being there and helping in so many different ways. You guys really do make a difference for our city. All right, and with that, we will move on to our last item, which is item 1.4, which is the annual presentation, Mid-Valley Disposal's annual update on recycling programs from Recycling Programs Manager Thomas Hammond.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City staff. Thank you for granting an audience tonight. I am Thomas Hammond, Recycle Programs Manager. I'm also here with Rachel Patlin, our Government Relations Representative. And we just like to get out at least once a year in front of staff, just to let you know what we've been doing from the recycling department standpoint, some compliance things, and show face, answer questions that you guys may have. We don't see you guys all the time, but when we do, we know it's going to be a great conversation. So we're here to answer questions, and I'll just get right into the presentation. He'll pull up the overview. Perfect. So we're going to go over some site assessments that we completed in 2025, some recycling audits, some community events that we attended, the Recycler of the Year award that we grant to a business that's doing all the right things. I'll jump into some cleanup event totals from fall 25 and a small tonnage report. Next slide. So SB 1383 site assessments. A site assessment is basically when one of my staff goes to a business to check for compliance, service levels, and to make sure that they're properly disposing of the material in the right stream. It's very important that we get out there and talk to businesses one-on-one. Education is paramount when trying to get compliance. Most businesses are unaware of the requirements right now, and so we really take it upon ourselves to get out in front of the businesses and talk to them to make sure that they do understand what we need to do moving forward with SB 1383 regulations. So in 2025, we visited 321 commercial businesses in town, 56 multifamily homes, and 325 residential homes. Each one of those visits gave us opportunity to engage with the residents or the business owners, and then educate, which we think is like I said, paramount with compliance with the regulation. Next slide. We can't do it alone, right? We rely on our drivers to let us know when they see things out in the field, and that's what a recycling audit is. A recycling audit is when a driver sees a contamination in either a bin or a can, they tag that can. It's strictly educational, and then my department follows up with that tag to make sure that they get even more education to understand how to rectify the problem moving forward. So last year in 2025, we had 1,182 recycling audits, 144 commercial, for a total of 1,326. Keep in mind, we're only 20 months in, right? We have a lot of work to do, and so we hope to see these numbers slowly go down over time. I think the business aspect wasn't that bad. I think the residential one we need to do some work on. So we're going to continue to educate, annual mailers, calling, knocking on doors when we can, and just really trying to educate to make 2026 look better than 2025. So community events. As you guys know, we love to be a part of the community. Anytime we can get a chance to be out in the public at any event, we'd love to do so. In 2025, we did Earth Day, thanks to Liz. She was great. Selma Live, we attended, the Raisin Festival, Selma National Night Out, and also the Christmas Parade. We were just at Selma Earth Day not that long ago, a couple weeks ago in 26, and we were just at the Raisin Festival here on Saturday. So I spoke to John, and I saw Jim Costa walking around with staff, and so it was a great turnout. But to get to 2025, you can go to the next slide. I just got some pictures here. You know, there's Osigera with us at Live last year, and Mayor Scott as well. And what we like to do is we create a game, right? You spin the wheel, it has a different commodity on it, and you have to tell us where that commodity goes and what stream. And so it's educating, it's very kid-friendly. We understand that the kids teach the parents more oftentimes than not, and the kids are the ones doing a lot of the work when it comes to taking the trash out. So if we can tackle the kids first, we know it'll trickle upward to the adults inevitably. So that's what we really try to do, make it engaging. So I think you can funnel through a couple of the pictures here. That's Summer Live, Summer Raisin Festival again. Next slide, Summer National Night Out. We really love the National Night Out. That's when we really get to engage with the kids, not only the adults, but really great time. And then last but not least, the Summer Christmas Parade. That's our driver right there. He volunteers here. And we just like to be a part of the community anytime we can, right? Not only do we like to be educating, but we like to just show that we are part of the community. We want to be part of the community moving forward. And these events just kind of attest to how committed we are to doing that. So I would have probably built it up a little bit, but he got ahead of me. So every year we like to honor a business within the city that's doing everything the right way per SB 1383 regulation. They're recycling the cardboard and cans and glass. The material needs to be recycled. They're getting rid of their food waste and their organic spin, and they're donating food whenever they can. In 2025, your recycler of the year was Sal's Mexican Restaurant. So I'd like to give them a round of applause and acknowledge them. Not only does Sal's do things the right way when it comes to diverting the material correctly, but they order their food in such a way that they don't have a lot of leftovers, right? Really, a part of SB 1383 is to have proper separation, but an even bigger part is food recovery, to get the foods into the hands of the people that can really, really use that. And so they do a great job of not over ordering, so they don't have a lot of bad food, but when they do, they make an effort of getting that food to people that can actually use it, not just throwing it away. And we really like to recognize businesses that do that. And if you go to the next picture, you'll see a picture of the owner with the reward. It's a little trash truck, and it just says 2025 Recycler of the Year, and it acknowledges them. So this is something we will continue to do year by year. We typically try to do a new business every single year, and we really try to focus on who's doing things the right way. You can go to the next one. So here's the dry part of the presentation. We get a little bit of a regulation, some Cal Recycle updates. JACE, which stands for Jurisdiction and Agency Compliance and Enforcement, are currently doing audits in Fresno County. And Q4 in 2025, 6 or 7 jurisdictions got their letter. A few have gotten some in 2026 in Q1. Some has not received their letter yet. But I've been working directly with Michael, Public Works Director Michael Hahn, and Sylvia Luna, his assistant, to really get everything in order that's going to be needed for that audit. He also has Green City Consulting that he's slightly working with. So you guys are in great shape when it comes to a possible audit that may arise. I think Michael's done a fantastic job getting the records in order that they're going to request. And so I don't see any problem with that moving forward. It's been a really good process. SB 270 is now SB 1053. For those of you who don't know what SB 270 was, that was a single plastic bag use. They wanted to get rid of single plastics in the stores and in the convenience stores. Well, what they did was they created a different problem by allowing mixed plastic bags that couldn't go into recycling to be sold. Now, if you go into a supermarket or a convenience store, you will no longer see plastic bags available to you. It will strictly be paper bags. And that's because a lot of that plastic bag material was actually making it to the landfill and not being diverted with the intention of SB 270. So they upgraded that to SB 1053. And so moving forward, you should see that. And so it's great for us. It's great for the community. Your paper bags can go both through recycling and organics if it's soiled. So it shouldn't ever make it to the landfill. So it's a great initiative or a great bill that they passed to take care of 270s, a little bit of their downfall. Last but not least is the electronic annual report. That's something that's due annually from the city. I work with staff hand in hand with that. Typically, it's the Public Works Director. I will work with city management as well. But we will work together to get that turned in by August 1st. So we usually start around mid-June, to kind of gather our information, make sure we're on the same page, and all the programs descriptions are matching. So I will assist with that moving forward. You can go to the next slide. Cleanup event. I mean, 985 total customers is probably an all-time high that I've seen. I think that in the fall of 2025, people really took advantage of this cleanup event, and that's exactly what we want. We want to keep we want to beautify the city at the end of the day. And having cleanup events available to residents like that really helps move that needle, right? So in 2025 of the fall, we had 37 total loads, total customer count of 985, 17 tons of total mattresses, and that goes to the Mattress Recycling Council, so those are getting all recycled. Total tires, 1.31 tons. Total e-waste, 472 pounds. Total refuse, 127 tons, and total metal, 97 tons. So a total diversion rate of 48%, which means out of all those materials, we were able to divert 48% of that material out of the landfill, which is what we really want to do, right? Is keep everything out of the landfill, keep those emissions down, abide by SB 1383 regulations. I have one more note. I don't have the totals for the spring cleanup, but it did just happen. And I believe we had 1,083 cars show up for the spring. So we're gaining traction, and that's exactly what we want. So we're going to keep promoting this and keep doing this for the city, and we look forward to the fall cleanup, and we hope that we get even more cars in this year's fall cleanup. So if you're listening online, please pay attention to when we get those flyers go out or the information goes out. We would love to have you and just work with operations if there's any questions on that. Last but not least is our tonnage report. This is kind of what we picked up in 2025 as far as commercial and residential goes. So roughly around 6,100 tons of refuse for the commercial sector, almost 800 tons of recycling, and 465 tons for a total diversion rate of 17% of material not going to the landfill. Residentially, we did around 6,900 tons of refuse, 1,700 tons of recycle, 4,000 tons of organics, which is a really great number, for a total diversion rate of 46%. That's one of our higher diversion rates for residential. So we really think that although we saw a lot of contamination tags via our recycling audits, we do think that the majority of the public is really buying into the organics program and really diverting the material properly. So we look to build on those numbers in the commercial sector by continuing to do our site assessments every single year and continuing to educate. But with that, that is the presentation. So I open up to any questions. You can ask me anything you want, even operational. I'll do my best to put my operations cap on, but I'm limited on my knowledge when it comes to operational.
You know, I was looking for the certificate of recognition for you guys, but I was told we already gave one to
was
you.
last week.
Because, yeah,
That was
so
last week. No, I really appreciate it. I think being part of the community is a big aspect of what we want to do. We're not only your hauler and a service provider, but we also want to be a part of the community and really show that we're here for the long run. I mean, our contract is a good amount of time, and we want to make sure that we're taking care of you guys every single year, inside and out. And we really appreciate the recognition from staff noticing our effort, and we're just going to continue to do that.
thank you. Council have a comment?
I have a couple of comments, and just the fact to congratulate you for, Saturday I seen you out there, and I've seen you a couple of times in events, so congratulations for all the efforts, because some people tend to say they're out there, but you were out there in the booth and it was kind of hot, and so congratulate you for all the efforts you put in yourself, okay?
Thank you.
That's one. The other one is, it's really important, being that on the side business of my other business of a restaurant, what you call surplus, the business, the statement of equalization calls it shrinkage. So we could shrinkage wasteful food, it actually helps out. And the fact that you're actually educating restaurants in our city, we had 2 years ago, we were talking about that. What do we do? How do we separate it? And from the way when I speak to all the restaurant owners, when they come to my office, they're talking about that you guys are reaching out to them. And I really appreciate that, because it is something that's important here in the city. It's important everywhere else. But the shrinkage of the food and separating that, that's so important, especially for the business owners. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Your comments? And we started out, it was a transition. We had to get to know each other.
Yeah.
We talked about picking up in the front instead of the alleys. We got that rectified, realized that really wasn't Mid-Valley. That was a city previous administration direction, council direction. We've really, I think, gotten to know each other and really appreciate everything that Mid-Valley does. Like the council member was saying, you're visible. It's so many of our events, you're visible in our city, and the people I talk to, they know they can reach you. You're really accessible. So thank you for that. Thank you for and I think the numbers show, how accessible and how the program really is working. And we've formed a really good partnership. between the city, citizens, and Mid-Valley. So thank you for that.
I thank you for the kind words, and I couldn't agree more. And we look forward to years to come of this great relationship.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. With that, we'll move on to consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar category are considered routine. The complete consent calendar will be enacted by one motion by roll call vote. For purposes of discussion, any council member may have an item removed from the consent calendar and made part of the regular agenda. The council can then approve the remainder of the consent calendar. Does council have an item or items they would like removed from the consent calendar tonight?
Yeah, I would like to remove two item,
Okay.
the consent.
Okay. Anybody else with an item they would like removed tonight? Okay, before I ask for a motion for the other items, I would like to commend staff for the report and the transparency of item 2.4, information only. It's an informational report on personnel activity from January 1, 2026 to April 24th, 2026. As Assistant City Manager Fowler and Director Moreno have known, they've heard us asking for more transparency, more information, and you're really delivering. And so tonight, that is a great report on personnel activity. Appreciate it very much. Keep up the good work. Is there a motion to approve item 2.1 and 2.3 through item 2.7?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Avalos,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson,
Yes.
Councilmember Segura,
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Yes.
Okay, item 2.2.
Okay, on item 2.2, register number 89447. Fire Department, that was a Rose Avenue cam charge on December 25th to June 26th, $2,583.22. On that particular cam charge, what was the basis on that cam charge? What was it for?
So the invoice in question is for the facility we rent for the utilization of our EMS post over near the hospital. CAM charges stand for Common Area Maintenance, in that the property management company produces a invoice, and based on the square footage of our utilization is broken down for that. There's maintenance items that are, I believe, with regards to the parking and really just access to all the common areas on that property. And that's a included portion of the rental agreement that we have with them.
Now, okay, on that note, is that included in the rent? Let me ask you that question.
The common area maintenance charges are in addition to the monthly rent charges for the actual space that we utilize. And so there are
There's two separate deals, right? Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. On another note, since I have you there, check register 89418. This is Fresno Mercedes ambulance repair, $15,460.23. The reason why I pulled it, I want my colleagues up here to more definite item on the charge. What was the repair? Was it a engine block, or was it a crankshaft, or more identification on the charge itself on the Mercedes? And on another note, I like to know, as colleagues up here, was it the same ambulance, or was it different? Which one was it? Number one or number two or number three? How often do we maintain number one, number two go to this cost factor? And how many miles this is driven to that time at that point?
Sure. So the check in question is for multiple invoices for repairs that were provided to two separate ambulances. The first ambulance in question was our ambulance 552. I believe that ambulance currently has about 207,000 miles on it. That was for repair costs associated with the fuel injectors and some emissions equipment. The other large portion of the invoices associated with that check was for ambulance 554. That ambulance currently has 107,000 miles on it. And that was also for emissions related equipment, as well as the replacement of the catalytic converter system, which is extremely pricey. These Mercedes-Benz Sprinter platforms, they have 2-liter turbo diesel engines that are very costly to maintain. The initial cycles or preventative maintenance cycles were not to the caliber required for the use of those. And so over the course of the last 2 years, we've adopted a pretty stringent preventative maintenance program. These vehicles, we currently have 6 ambulances in our fleet. All 6 of those run about 50,000 miles per year, so totaling about 300,000 annual miles. The intervals just for what we call an A service, which is a simple oil change, is every 5,000 miles. So every ambulance is seeing a shop about once a month, which is multiply that by 6. So our vehicles are in and out of the shop. But as you know, in the last 6 months, we've placed orders for 2 ambulances, and we have a third one for your consideration in this updated budget. We're going to a different platform, which is a Ford E450 chassis. Those vehicles can be maintained here locally at our Ford dealership. They're a much more simplified platform. It's a gas motor, not a diesel motor. And so we're going to see a reduction in maintenance expenses, and then also just the adoption of that preventative maintenance schedule helps prevent some of those costs. The tough part is, you can't go buy an ambulance at a dealership and have it show up. And so, they're $300,000 pieces of equipment. The maintenance charges that you see for replacement costs, although, $15,000 is a very large number, but when you consider the cost of the replacement of that, that's just part of the cost of utilizing that resource. And so our goal is to get about 300,000 miles out of every ambulance. And if we can squeeze an extra 50 out of that, that's just bonus miles that we can utilize. But, those are driven pretty hard, and they go from, sleeping at night to, cruising down the road, rushing to emergencies. And so it's a very tough environment for a vehicle. It's not like a commuter car that just cruises down the freeway. And so the maintenance and the repairs are just at a higher degree than what we're accustomed to for our personal vehicles.
Thank you on that note. I mean, I know the Mercedes, you can only take only a certain place. I understand that. But it is a cost effect. I mean, it rides smooth. It's a good ambulance. I'm not saying it's bad, but you have to, I guess, in the long run, you have to maintain it. You have to maintain that, but every time you take a Mercedes in, it's a cost. It costs. And I understand that, because, I mean, look, other ambulance like American Ambulance, they don't have Mercedes. I never seen them.
The American Ambulance of Fresno does utilize the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter platform.
Yeah, okay. But thank you on that note, Chief. Thank you for updating us. Thank you very much.
Okay, any additional items? Good.
Oh,
You make a motion to
I'm gonna
approve.
make a motion.
I have a question really quick. Just
Okay.
a really quick question. 89,408, I noticed on the attorney fees came through. That is a month of June. The question is that going to be rolled over to 24-25 fiscal year?
The true statement, when the auditors do the 25-26 audit.
They'll go
they'll-
back and
yeah,
roll it
they'll
back over.
put it-
So the other 4 will be rolled over on the 25-26.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, I'll make a
Motion, is there
motion
a
to
second?
accept.
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Avalos,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson,
Yes.
Councilmember Oseguera,
Yes.
Okay,
Councilmember Trujillo.
Yes.
all right. Consent calendar passes. Moving on to departmental reports. City staff and contract employees present will be recorded in the minutes. City manager.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Since we last met, staff met with our consultant for the development of the downtown design guidelines. As we move forward, we'll be bringing that to Planning Commission and then ultimately to council. I also had meetings with various agencies such as CID, SKF, and EDC on various topics related to infrastructure within the city. I continue to work with staff on the fiscal year 26-27 budget. The agreement with Precision Engineering for Community Development Director interim services was executed, and we have a kickoff meeting with them scheduled for this Friday. And then I also attended the Earth Day and Downtown Arts and Culture Fest events. These are great events, had good turnout, which we love to see and love to continue supporting. Thank you.
Thank you for your report. City attorney.
Yes, Mayor, members of the council, take one and pass them down. I'm just passing around the rather lengthy memorandum that I provided to you all by email previously. It's the only way I can make sure y'all got it. So I was asked to identify the pros and cons of forming Selma as a charter city from its current general law city status. That turns out to be a very difficult thing to pinpoint. And that is simply because the whole issue depends on a very nebulous court-made rule of law, which we call the home rule. And the home rule is simply this: if you're a charter city, you can enact any law, which you always do by ordinance, or you can put it in your charter, although currently the practice is to simply reserve to yourself in your charter everything that relates to municipal affairs. And you can adopt that charter, or you can adopt those ordinances as long as they relate to municipal affairs. They can be inconsistent with state law, and they govern within the boundaries of your city. So you can actually preempt state law. However, if the state legislature enacts a statute which addresses a subject that is a matter of statewide concern and reasonably tailors that statute in such a way that it addresses only resolving that matter of statewide concern, that state statute then takes precedence over your municipal affairs ordinance. And the state statute governs. Yours is preempted. So there are a very limited number of cases on this, the application of this rule. And I think the very first one you see is the one in the city of Vista, which is quoted in the memorandum there. And the city of Vista adopted an ordinance or a charter that exempted itself from payment of prevailing wages. And they were sued by the state, and the state enacted a new statute that said, we find prevailing wages to be a matter of statewide concern, and it expressly applies it against the charter city, the city of Vista. And so the city of Vista sued, and the city of Vista prevailed, because what you pay people that are developing improvements in your city is definitely a matter of municipal concern, not a matter of statewide concern, even though the legislature said it was. So the court just flat out rejected what the legislature had done. And this is the Supreme Court of our state, and they allowed Vista to exempt itself from payment of prevailing wages. the legislature in California, being what it is, went back to the drawing board and adopted a completely separate statute that says you don't pay prevailing wages, you're a charter city, you're not going to get any form of grant money from the state any way whatsoever. And so no one has ever challenged that law because it would be kind of silly to do that. I mean, the cost of doing that would be extreme, and the benefit of prevailing would be slim to none, because the prevailing wage law really isn't that hard to evade. It's not that hard to comply with either. If you get a regular contractor that employs union labor, he's necessarily paying prevailing wages. And they will tell you right out of the chute. So no one has ever challenged the legislature on this. That statute is likely unconstitutional, but no one has found it worth their while to go after them. There's cases that go way back that make very clear that you're exempted if you're a charter city. If you want to exempt yourself from it, you're exempted from the competitive bidding laws. Those are the laws that require you to award a contract to the lowest responsible bidder for a public works. And that is a significant benefit in and of itself, because you can start awarding contracts to the person that is the best value. And you can even make preferences to people that are local contractors and all sorts of things. I attached a chart that was developed by the Berkeley School of Law, and it basically goes through item by item on all of the various statutes, and tells you what a charter city can do as opposed to a general law city. But it's really not that informative, because at the end of the day, it always just relates to the application of that home rule, which is really just a judgment call by a judge or an appellate court as to whether or not something is a statewide concern. The legislature cannot make that determination. And I think the city of Clovis recently considered this, and they said, well, what's the point? The legislature keeps taking away powers that charter cities have, but they've been doing that since they dissolved RDAs, which is really the first time this came into focus. And you'll see, if you go back, the charter cities did way better than any general law city, because they were able to form entities that were separate from the city that did essentially the same thing as an RDA, and they were able to funnel money to it simply by manipulating their budget. So they came out a lot better. All of you general law cities ended up paying a bunch of money to the state. But that's really the only second time that the issue has really raised its head.
What's the way a city goes from one form to another, say from general law to a charter city? What's the method?
Oh, it's got to be a ballot proposition. So your ballot propositions are required to be to the elections office 88 days before the election. The election is November 3rd. And so that means the 88th day before is August 4th. Before you send it to the elections office, however, you have to have 2 public hearings preceded by 21 days notice. And those 2 public hearings have to be 30 days apart. So if you wanted to place that on the ballot, you could do so, but you'd have to start the process now. And you have to wait 21 days after your last public hearing before sending the proposition off to the elections office. So, right now, what the legislature is doing is it is encroaching on what is clearly recognized as a municipal affair. And it's doing that by virtue of these various housing laws they've got out there. You're dealing with that issue yourself. And what they're trying to do is make inroads into your ability to zone property, to develop a general plan. And there has been only, and I do mean only, one case that addresses any of that, and that is against the city of Huntington Beach. But the city of Huntington Beach didn't do it properly. The city of Huntington Beach tried to exempt itself completely and totally from a tried and true thing, which was the state's involvement in your housing element, right? So the court just said, well, no way. Whereas if they would have just, focused their attack a little bit better and said, well, you've now changed it. You've given HCD the power to adopt these regulations without going through the normal process, and you've given HCD extraordinary powers to affect our zoning ordinances, our general plans. That might have flown, but their challenge was just too broad.
Do you have
The other one you've heard about is, of course, Clovis. They settled that suit. We don't know why they settled it. So you really don't have any real appellate court cases that address that issue in the context of the current effort of the legislature to make inroads into your municipal affairs.
Do you have any recommendations as our city attorney, whether it would be beneficial to Selma to go from general law to a charter city?
I think it's always beneficial to become a charter city because being a charter city gives you ammunition you can use to fight back against inroads that the legislature tries to make into your municipal affairs. If you don't form as a charter city, the way the trajectory of the current laws are going, you're probably looking at losing your land use function completely or nearly completely to the state. Whereas if you're a charter city, and there's case law that goes way back, land use function, zoning ordinances, general plans, those are all municipal affairs. And what the state appears to be doing is they appear to be telling you, well, you can't have, for example, a low density zone. Everything's got to be, real dense, and you got to allow for all these split lots and all these other things. There is a trial court case out of Los Angeles where the city of San Ramon and 5 other charter cities sued the state to have themselves declared exempt from this law that allowed for lot splits anywhere in the city without city approval, required you to ministerially approve them as long as they were going to put an additional house on that lot that was split off. The trial court ruled against the state and awarded all those cities their attorney's fees. And the state did not appeal. Instead, the state went back and they tried to beef up their amended statute again, and they're going after them again. But this is just the way the legislature operates. I think it's pretty clear they've already crossed the line. And I think that case with San Ramon demonstrates that. I think it's real clear that what you're dealing with right now relative to the Surplus Land Act is indicative of what they really want to do. And what they really want to do is they want to eliminate your ability to zone residential property. They want to be able to tell you to change something that is commercial into residential. And I would think that you would want to fight back on that because
It will give the city more tools to
it's the only
independently
tool.
zone.
It's the
our city.
only tool you have as a city with respect to the state. And when we're talking about the benefits of being a charter city, that's really all you're talking about. You're talking about a legislature that is saying, you know, we've adopted this law. It's a thing of statewide concern. You got to follow it, charter city. And, you know, you have significant ability to push back. And most of the time, those pushbacks have been successful for the people who haven't caved.
So in terms of the cost, we could take that to the next step and look into the cost of getting this on the ballot.
Well, if you did it as a special election, which you don't want to do, that would cost you about $25,000. You simply add a proposition to a ballot that's already
Like
existing.
November.
That's cheap. I would guess, and I can ask the elections office how much that would be, but my guess would be about $5,000.
Well, maybe when we request future agenda items, we can ask staff to look into the cost to put it on the ballot. Okay, thank you, City Attorney. Appreciate your report. Community Services Director Fletcher.
Mayor, members of the council, just a few things to update you on. The events are still not slowing down. We're still in high gear. So our Beer Fest currently has tickets available at the Selma Arts Center website. And so Beer Fest is being held at Pioneer Village on May 16th. We also have tickets on sale right now for Greece. Our opening night is going to be May 2nd. And then Selma Live is still scheduled to take place on May 29th here at Lincoln Park. And then I kind of wanted just to give you a quick update on our spay and neuter and TNR program. So staff is currently working on kicking that off really soon. We're establishing accounts with South County and New Village here in Selma to get the ball rolling on those. And so there are some focus areas that we're going to be working on for TNR, which is going to be our cats. And then we do have a list of interested community members for our spay and neuter program as well. And so you'll see that starting to kick off within the next week or two. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll make sure that staff provides a monthly report on all the animals that are and all the residents in Selma that are taking advantage of this program, including our cats in the and then on a personal note, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am currently working remote at this time, and staff is currently holding down the fort. With that being said, when I'm ready to officially take my recreation supervisor, Matthew Tiger, will be taking over for the most part with the assistance of Nicolette Anderson, my recreation supervisor, and Armando Garola, my animal services manager. And so I trust that you guys will all be in good hands and that they will be able to keep the ship afloat and answer any questions like the community services running smoothly. So that's all.
Appreciate that. We wish you all the best for your leave, Director, and look forward to seeing you when you return. The Raisin Festival went really well this weekend. One little issue with the Selma Street having the gate there at Rose Avenue, having it right there at the street caused the seniors to have to walk too far. Can they just move the barrier in, or maybe make it easier to move the barrier in? When they dropped the seniors off in the morning, they had to walk too far to get to the senior center.
Noted. Yes, so that is something that we were addressing or talking about internally, is just trying to figure out how we're gonna minimize that,
Yeah.
that.
With the extra vendors, you need that street, but at the same time, the seniors need a place to go Thursday and Friday.
I also have a comment, don't forget, May 29th, John Pemberton. You always forget.
Said it.
It's at Selma
She said
Live.
Announced it, Selma Live.
Yeah.
529
But you gotta
will
announce
be
it with gusto.
Sorry, the energy levels right now for being
Well, I'll do it for you.
diverted in different directions.
May 29th at Lincoln Park, John Pemberton, and we hope that all the people that have volunteered will come out. Margie and Margie and her husband, and
Hmm.
so we get a lot of help coming. So thank you.
Great. Right. Mr. Horn.
Me, Mayor, members of the council, just one quick update. Wanted to let you know that the Clarkson lift station that's been under construction, they're going to start the pump startup process tomorrow morning.
Oh.
So everything is in place. The vendors, all of the manufacturer pieces have all been passed all inspections. So they'll start the pumps and get that process running and checking, making sure everything's working. And then next week, I believe Wednesday, they'll run the generator without the electricity to make sure that that's in place and properly working in case there's ever a power outage. So this is a major milestone at the very end to make sure that all the pumps are working. After that is operational, then they'll finish the site work, the fencing, and any of the pieces of the site now that the pumps and electrical system is working. So just wanted to give you an update that we're real close to the completion of that.
Boy, that's a long time coming, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, and it's a project that will unlock development on the west side, big time. And it was paid for with American Rescue Plan money. So it's really, it's been a long process, but it will definitely help development in Selma and in particular on the west side. Thank you for your report. All right, our Chief Webster.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just two items tonight. Last, or actually 2 Saturdays ago now, on the 25th, we hosted an event with Selma Unified School District, which was in partnership with Selma PD as well as West Hills College out in Lemoore. This was a training drill that was really utilized for both our department, the police department, the paramedic students and nursing students of West Hills College. We were able to use high school students from Selma High School, as well as staff from Adventist Hospital here in Selma. And the purpose of the drill, it was an active shooter drill, something that we hope to never have to face in real life, but something that's just absolutely critical and kind of a part of our modern life today. And so that drill, we were able to conduct, a real life simulation. We had ambulance companies from throughout the Central Valley that really simulated what it would look like to have a response here to the city of Selma. We had a helicopter that almost landed, and then they got dispatched to an actual emergency somewhere else in the Central Valley. But it was really a great opportunity for all of the entities to work together and really kind of exercise the system and see how this would work. We had supervisors down from Central California EMS agency as well to kind of oversee. Anyway, it was really great work. Special thanks to our division chief of EMS, Daniel Diaz. He was the one that brought the program over to the city of Selma from West Hills. They look for different host agencies every year, and he worked really hard to get all of the partners together and to make it work. Another shout out to Director Jose Moreno. He was there and took a ton of photos that we look forward to seeing. But the one thing that I want to point out was when we got on scene and we hit the go button for the simulation, Selma PD came in like really hot. I almost got ran over by a bunch of armed police officers, and it was just kind of chilling to know, like, man, I do not want those guys coming after me, and just brought some real life to that scenario. So anyway, special thanks to all the partners in that. It turned out to be just a really good event and really critical training for our community. The second item that I wanted to address was one of the items in your consent calendar this evening was the information about the File of Life program. And the beginning of this council meeting, we had a moment of silence for Ms. Kaysen. And I think it's important for the community to know that the reason that that program is here at the City of Selma is because of a conversation that I had with her out here in the lobby of City Hall about, I don't know, a few months ago in reference to an incident involving one of her loved ones. And so that conversation led to the realization that this is just a really critical program for our community, and it can really be impactful to just the timeliness of our staff being on scene and getting off scene and having the right information to be able to provide to the continuum of care at our area hospitals. And so I just really felt it was important for her to be recognized for being just a really critical piece of getting that program here to our community.
Thank you for that, Chief. You know, Joyce came to a lot of meetings and she talked about that, and it was very nice before she passed away that she really left that as a legacy. Thank you for taking her concerns seriously, taking them to heart, and actually implementing them in this File of Life. It's a really good program, and I'm sure she's smiling down on you and all of us right now. So thank you. With that, we'll move on to our Communications Director, Jose Moreno.
Mayor, members of the council, I just have a couple of items to present. The first item I would like to share is a video that's part of the Safe Street Selma campaign in collaboration with our A&M consultants. In this video, you'll see them kind of give some tips about crossing at school crosswalks, and it's just educational information for the community. This video will be on social media in the upcoming week, and I'd like to play it for you. I want to thank PD and Officer Greer for helping out with that video and walking us through some safety tips. It's good to get PD involved and show them in a different light and show their personality on video to the community. So that video, along with another one, will be rolled out in the next couple of weeks. The last item I have is, in case you haven't heard, Friday is our first Food Truck Friday event, and it's featuring the Morenos. This event is hosted by the Downtown Business Improvement District, where our goal is to bring folks to the downtown area, expose them to the new businesses, and activate the downtown space as that third space where folks can come out and have a good time and enjoy the community, enjoy good food. This is a little different this time. We are building relationships with the downtown community in the sense that Centro de Folklore is going to be performing a downtown dance studio that brings hundreds of kids weekly to their dance practices. We are also collaborating with CYS, who also manage the Neighborhood Resource Center that's over in front of the old PD building. They are hosting Loteria, so it's Mexican bingo, and we'll be doing a few prizes there as well. It's also hosted by Liz Gonzalez, a local resident and TV anchor. She'll be on the microphone making some announcements throughout the night. The last thing I wanted to highlight is this new collaboration with Riley's Tap Room. And although they're not a downtown business, they saw the benefit in partnering with us and wanting to bring their brews and their drinks to the downtown community. So they graciously offered to donate beer for all 4 of our food truck events. So it's a great collaboration amongst all of a few businesses in the downtown space. And I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention and invite you all. If you've never been, it's a good time. There's great music, and there's a lot of dancing. So come on out Friday between 5 to 10 on High Street.
You know, that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about having the space, a safe space for all these elements to come together, these groups of great people, great talented people. And that's what we have. And we provided that space as a city, provided really great professionals and a really safe atmosphere. So everybody come down, enjoy your city, Friday, May 8th, first Food Truck Friday. So, and catch the Morenos and catch Liz Gonzalez. She does a great job emceeing, and we haven't seen Loteria before, so that will be cool. It's going to be a really interesting event. That might be the only cool thing because it's probably going to be 99 that day, but we'll make it a cool time.
We have
It's
lots
gonna
of
be a lot
refreshing
fun.
drinks. We have lemonade, we have aguas frescas, and if you're over 21, we have Riley's. So we'll have plenty of beverages out there.
Very good. Looking forward to it. And with that, we are going to take a 5-minute break during which anybody who needs to speak with our department heads can speak with them now. And to our department heads, thank you for coming out. If you have no more business with the city, good evening. Okay, everybody, we are back after our break and we'll move on to our regular business agenda tonight. Our first item is item 4.1, an action item, which is hearing consideration and necessary action on a petition by residents of the Frontier Mobile Home Park objecting to a rent increase notice. Report, please.
Mayor, members of the council, on April 20, 2026, we received a completed formal petition by the residents of the Frontier Mobile Home Park objecting to a notice of a rent increase proposed by the park owner or landlord. And they have requested a hearing under Chapter 5.5 of Title 5 of the Municipal Code. That is what you are supposed to do anytime you get one of these petitions. In this particular mobile home park, there are 20 lots, or spaces, I guess they're called. And the petition is signed by 12 of the tenants, so that's 60%. They're above the 50% threshold for you to consider their petition. Staff has provided you with the petition and all the materials that either side to this dispute has presented. I will simply note that your ordinance limits a base rent increase to, for any given year, to 75% of the consumer price index or 3%, whichever is less. I'd be kind of shocked if the CPI was below 3%, given the way prices have been raised, but I don't know what it is. And it applies specifically to any rent increase within any 12-month period. So it appears that this particular rent increase, which was for $45 per month, which amounts to a 12.85% base rent increase. The owner is apparently saying that the increase is necessary to cover the cost of lawn care, laundry room maintenance, water and garbage service. That is the position of the respective parties, and what your ordinance requires you to do in this circumstance is to simply hear their dispute and make a decision.
Very good. Thank you, City Attorney. Okay, so I'll go through our steps at this point on the City Council. I will say the city has received a petition signed by more than 50% of the tenants of Frontier Mobile Home Park, as our City Attorney mentioned, objecting to a rent increase notice. The council members have all reviewed the petition and the documents submitted by the parties prior to this hearing. The ordinance requires that we adhere to a specific procedure, so I will conduct this public hearing by first asking the representative of Frontier Mobile Home Park to provide the position of the owner that the rent increase is justified under the ordinance and to provide any testimony or documents supporting the owner's position. Following the presentation of the mobile home park owner, I will invite the presentation of any testimony or documents from representatives of the residents as to why the increase should not be allowed. That will be followed by giving the park owner an opportunity to respond to the residents' presentation, and the residents will likewise be given the final opportunity to rebut the park owner's response. Step 1, to commence this hearing, we are going to say, please step forward, mobile home park owner's representative, to the podium and provide your position and evidence supporting your position. Please provide your name and address too, please.
Good evening, Shar Tucker, 2128 North Street. I am the property manager for the owner. But I did want to clarify one thing. This has nothing to do with their base rent. This is simply pass-through expenses that the owner has a right to recoup. The residents of the park have not had a rent increase to their base rent for 4.5 years. The owner has incurred all of the expense for trash, water, electric, lawn maintenance for the past 4 years since he's owned the property. So this is the first year that he has asked for some help with this. And as you can see in your packet, the cost for 25 was 18,500 something, I believe. So if we divide that by 12 months in the year and then divide that by 20 units, it came out to $77.20, I believe. But the owner felt that that was too much to ask the residents for. So he asked if we just raise the rent $45 to help cover those expenses. So this has nothing to do with base rent. When I came to City Hall in December to ask for some clarification, because the ordinances doesn't say a lot about pass-through expenses. I spoke with Mr. Macias, and he wasn't quite sure what to say about it. So I did receive an email at December 22nd from him, and it basically says that this is the information is provided in the ordinance just for general compliance and guidance, and does not include approval or denial of the increase. So I feel like, the owner absolutely has a right to recoup these expenses, and he's been very generous. I'm not asking for $77, but cutting it down to $45. And again, the residents have had no increase in their base rent since he's owned the property. And I believe that was at the end of 21 when he purchased it. So 4.5 years later, they were still paying the same base rent. And they are still paying the same base rent. We haven't touched that at all. I have also provided them with a lease for the $395 that is for a year. So that is a guarantee to them that the owner cannot come back for that year and ask for any additional base rent.
Does council have any questions for the owner's representative, Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Charlie, let me just ask, in regards to the $45, you're stating that that's not an increase to the base rate, correct?
Correct.
It's just to recoup these additional charges that he was, that he had to pay for, you're saying landscape, electrical, PG&E, Cal Water, and Mid-Valley Trash. Is that correct?
Correct.
So is that $45 just a one-time fee for the year, or you're saying that's a monthly?
It's a monthly fee. If you look at the total, whatever it was, 18,000 something, then we divided that by 12 to get a monthly cost, and then divided that by 20 spaces to get their portion of the cost. And again, it came out to $77, but the owner felt that that was too much and asked that we only charge them $45 a month to recoup their portion of the expense.
But that's going to be ongoing, correct?
Well, for a year,
Oh.
yes.
Okay.
Their lease is for 1 year, beginning in July. We've given them a 90-day notice.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, okay, Shar, on this particular issue, those who live in that frontier, are they mostly seniors?
It's a family park.
Are they mostly seniors that live in that park?
I have no idea how old they are. There are children there.
Oh, okay. You're the property manager. Maybe you should know.
Well, what does that have to do
Well,
with it?
the reason why I'm asking that question is when you have seniors in a park, they're on a fixed income and there's 20 units there. And I'm looking at this, some of those people might be on a fixed income and probably they are. And I would, if I was the owner, basically my logic, if I was the owner, I would spread it out for so many years. That way people can live comfortably and not be stressed out. Apparently when people come to sign a petition and stuff like this, there seems to be a problem. That means there's an issue going on financially. And so that's why is the property owner here by some chance?
Is he here?
Yes,
No, he lives in Northern California.
Northern California. Okay. All right. And I wish he was here so we can get to the nuts and bolts to it, the gentleman, but that's okay. You're the property manager, you're the spokesman. Let me ask you a question. Could you go back and talk to him if he spread it out for maybe 3 years and help alleviate some of these issues with his tenants that did a petition?
Councilman Avalos, these expenses are incurred by the owner every year.
Yeah. But
Well,
can he be generous and help him?
he was generous. It came to $77 a month and he reduced it to 45. But your own ordinance states that it does not include the approval or the denial of the increase.
Okay.
It again has nothing to do with their base rent.
Okay, it has nothing to do with the base rent, but it has something to do with the upkeep of the property itself, maintaining the property care and all the equipment or the amenities around it. So the who's be at fault? Would it be the property owner or the person that's living there that's supposed to keep it up?
I'm not understanding your question.
Well, the question is, like the grass and the maintenance and the garbage, everything, it's his responsibility to keep those amenities in play, right?
He provide those amenities such as trash and
Yeah,
water are there for the tenant, but these are pass-through expenses that is a right of the owner to ask for some help with that.
The question is, what possessed them wait so long to do this?
I didn't ask him that, but the fact that he's incurred these expenses since he's owned it for 4.5 years, I guess he felt it was time that he got a little help with it. His property taxes have gone up, his insurance has gone up.
It goes up
Truly,
every
he is
year.
within his right to do that.
It goes up every year, Char. You know that. You're a property manager, like anything else. Garbage goes up, water goes up, everything. It's on a yearly basis. So it's already factored into it. You have to kind of factor in slowly, not wait so many years and then throw it at them.
This is not a 4-year charge. This is only what he paid for in 2025.
25, okay.
It doesn't go back for 4 years.
Okay.
That expense is lost. It was incurred by him, the owner, and he is not asking for that back. He has taken 2025, which again, he is allowed to do.
I mean, I mean, it's a difficult situation to be in with the people that live there. I got a feel for them right now. You know, that's a big increase.
So was $77.
I mean, the considering everything's kind of in a situation, everything's kind of, you know, food prices are going up, gas is going up, the medical's going up. You know, sometimes people need help. Sometimes the property owner can write these things off. You know what I mean? It's taxes. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. But that's all I got to say right now.
Okay.
Anybody
Should we hear
else?
from? If no one else has any questions, we'll hear from the representative of the residents. No, please step up.
My name's Daniel Ortiz. Good evening. On this rental increase, she wrote us this. The new owner bought the park in 21. Since then, he has not increased the rent. You've gone for 4 years or increased, however. Expenses have continued to go up, necessarily amenities mentioned above. There has been a necessary increase of $45. Okay. Then she gave us a new lease. I've been there 30 years. I don't need a new lease. I didn't fall off the sky. And everybody there has been there more than 5 years. And she's lying about this owner. I came in because they turned the water off. I come to the city here and we talked. And they looked it up, and Barbara Clarence, still the owner. She lives in Santa Barbara. She don't live up north. And I try to ask her, well, who's the owner? The garbage was piled as high as this house. I mean, as high as this light. I came to see the mayor, and we talked about it. And he said they simply weren't paying the bill. So when you don't pay the bill, you get charged extra for cleanup, the excess garbage and everything. The garbage trucks ain't gonna do it for free. And then the water bill, I was getting the notices, $3,000, $2,000. They're gonna turn the water off. I went to go see her. And then she won't let us in her office. You gotta knock on the door or call her, and I called her, she wouldn't answer me. And when I caught her going in, I gave her the bill, and it says, you know what? How come you don't have this sent to you? Yeah, I'm getting it. I can't do nothing about it. They're gonna turn the water off. And she turned around and looked at me. It's none of your business. And she closed the door on me. I have never been able to talk to this lady. I was a manager there for 25 years. We were never late on the garbage. We were never late on the water. She don't trim the trees. She went and dug a hole in front of my house. She was gonna put the garbage cans there. That's what the alley's for, the way the city's made. And now she's asking because back rent. She should have given us a 100-day notice before the beginning of the year, and she'd be entitled to 3%. 4 years, 3%, that's about $45. But she's not entitled to it because she didn't give us the 100-day notice. And the only thing I can say to her is, thank you for the free rent. I mean, the increase. And now she's here like, and she knows who's old. I'm 76 years old. I've talked to her, but she won't talk to me. And ask anybody that's in the park what I think she's only entitled to $10.50 at the beginning of the year. She has to file a 100-day notice before October. And to raise the rent 3%. And I tried to talk to her about it, and she told me, all you are is a troublemaker. I live there. My trailer cost me $100,000. I got an investment in that park. And she's acting like she don't got no investment in that park. I do. And everybody else does. And we can't talk to her. It's gotten ridiculous. That hole she dug up, they turned the water off. I came to the city, and that's when they told me Barbara Clarence still owns it. And tell her to tell you who the owner is. It's a military secret or what? And the garbage, the way she left it, well, of course they charge more. And I think she needs to go learn she had to read some of these. They're interesting. The laws that they made in 24, I've been reading them, and I totally understand them. And this lease agreement, she's not the owner, so she can't be the landlord. And the landlord has to make the lease agreement with us, not her. Anyway, I couldn't when I was manager. And if she don't know the laws, I can't educate her. Not my job.
Okay, thank you.
And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Do we have a rebuttal from the representative of the owner?
Well, I don't quite know where to start on that, but the trash is in the alley. And because people going down the alley dump in that bin that we have two. The people from the car wash, they come over and use that bin. So we have had to go to 2 pickups a week, which has basically doubled the trash bill. I have provided each tenant with copies of the bills for the past 12 months. I don't recall some of the things that Mr. Ortiz has said. My office is closed, yes, but you can knock on the door, and I don't believe that he has ever done that. He did call me the other night after this. He received this, and I did try to talk to him, but he was adamant that the trash could not be that expensive and that I could not sign a lease. Well, property managers are allowed to sign leases. That's what we do. But I am a little confused about this email that I got from Mr. Macias, basically stating that pass-through charges were just included in your ordinance just as a guide for information and general compliance, but that it did not include of you approving or denying the increase. So I'm a little confused about that.
Can I ask a question?
Yep, city attorney.
Mrs. Tucker. When when this gentleman purchased the mobile home park, he charged them a certain amount of rent for the space, correct?
Correct.
And that amount of rent has never changed.
Correct.
When he initially purchased the park, did he charge them at all for water service, refuse pickup and disposal, or sewer service?
No, he paid those expenses.
And he did that for 4 years.
Yes, 4.5 now.
Is any part of the $45 to account for maintenance of the laundry room or whatever?
No,
It's all for water, sewer, and garbage.
trash. There's a breakdown in the package of, each item
Landscape,
along with statements.
PG&E, water and trash.
Yep, services.
Yeah. So it's
But
landscape.
they've never been,
Same
have
services
they
they've
ever
been
been
receiving
separately
for 4 years.
charged for water, sewer, garbage pickup, PG&E?
Not until this year. When he purchased the park, their rent was $350. And that's what it has been, the base rent up until now. And their base rent is still $350. He's not raising the base rent. He is just recouping some of the expense from 2025 for water, trash, electric.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody from the residents would like to rebut that? We'll take one more comment.
Mayor Scott, my name is Donald Schaefer. You should know who I am.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've
Thank you
lived
for your
there.
service.
Thank you, sir. I lived there since '84. My mom lived there before 1984. She passed away in 2010. A group of doctors owned that court at one time, and it was all senior citizens. But then it sold, and then they started moving other people in there. Most of the people there now are Social Security, welfare people, and I think we got one gal that's in family way. She's gonna have a baby soon. So as far as little kids running around there, there's none, really. Okay, my rent now is $350. Okay, I pay for my own gas, electricity, phone bill, homeowner's insurance, and everything else. Now, this last January, I got an increase on my Social Security check. With all these little increases that come up, because they do this every year, grandma and grandpa got a pay raise, so we gotta add, take this increase, that increase, that increase. Now she wants $45 more a month. That puts me in the hole. Okay, now I can go with the 3%. That's not gonna be too much of a problem. But to go $45 all at one time, just boom, no, I can't do that. I'm gonna have to maybe move. And I don't think that's right because I've been there since '84. So some of the stuff that she's doing, like the garbage, that garbage, he was right, it went through the roof because she didn't pay the bill. That's the reason why it went so high. Okay? I've got a tree here that I begged PG&E and her to get rid of, and they would not do it. I ended up having to do it. I've got heart problems now, Mr. Mayor. I got a loop recorder and a pacemaker. My doctor got all pissed, got all ticked off because I went out and took this tree down. If I may approach and show your attorney or you what this tree looked like and what I had to do to get rid of it.
We're good. We got it. I get it.
Can I come up?
Come on, Mr. Shaper, come on.
Okay.
Is that in your backyard?
Yeah. Now you see where the electricals are at?
Yep.
Okay.
No pressure. Everybody's just watching you. Just kidding.
Here it is. That tree would have fell over. The fire department would have one heck of a fight. I was on the volunteers for 14 years. Bad situation. When
Got it. So it was a public safety issue.
That's right. I could get Peaches, her to act on it. So I ended up having to do it. And our problem is I passed out. But my whole arm was red with blood because I tore the skin. And I had to sit down. Back out. That gentleman that did the presentation on the garbage truck, his people.
Got it. Thank you, Mr. Shaper. You can approach the podium.
I don't think this lady's warrant in having a $45 increase.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it.
Okay.
With that, we're going to close this public hearing. Thanks, Mr. Shaper. Appreciate it. Now we're going to close this public hearing. We're going to refer this matter back to council. Who wants to go first?
Mayor, can I go first?
Sure.
I know I'm not on the council, but I have something to inform you of. So the definition of base rent in your ordinance, this is section 5-5.5-2, I think.
What does it say?
You cut off the number at the top, so yeah, 5-5-2. The definition of base rent is rent charged for a mobile home space on the effective date of this chapter. And there's other language that follows it, but none of that is applicable here. So these people were charged $300 and some odd base rent as of 2021 when this person acquired this property. The definition of base rent also says base rent shall not include utility charges for sub-metered gas and electricity. I have from your packet, page 178, which itemizes all the various charges for that this person is trying to recover.
Yep.
By the $45 rent increase, and gas and electricity is $2,312.23. But it is clearly not sub-metered because the landlord has been paying the gas and electricity since 2021.
What you asked, Ms. Tucker.
Yeah.
So if it's 1 meter.
So the gas,
individual,
under your
no.
definition of base rent, in this situation, I would submit to you that gas and electricity
Is base
part
rent.
of the base rent. Then you go down to, and this does not fit the definition of a capital expense, because a capital expense is something that didn't exist before. This
Backflow
existed
protector.
before, it's just
Yep.
gone up.
Got it.
Then it says base rent shall not include charges for water, refuse disposal, sewer service, and or other services which are either provided and charged to the mobile home residents solely on a cost pass-through basis or are required by state or local law. I have to confess, I don't understand the meaning of that last phrase. I assume if you read that in context, that has to mean that the charge is required by state or local law to be passed through to the tenant. Because it says specifically, charges for water, refuse disposal, sewer service, other services which are either provided and charged to the tenants. That did not occur in 2021, did not occur in 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. So notwithstanding the exception of those items from base rent, I think it's fairly clear that in this case, they're necessarily built into the base rent because they were never charged before. So that accounts for the entirety of the balance, except there's a landscape charge of $1,200. That clearly was included in the rent, and that's not excluded from the rent under your ordinance.
Well, from the facts of the situation, the new owner took over 4 years ago, and these expenses didn't just occur overnight with a new owner. They're recurring, and they've been continuing. So that money that the landlord was collecting, a reasonable person, I think, would conclude included those charges for the electrical, for the gas, for the trash, for the water, with the possible exception of landscape. But I would even submit it included the landscape, given that there's been 4 years.
Well, I mean, you're charging for the space, but you're also charging for the things that come with the space
Yeah, how do you
that you're
differentiate that,
renting.
right?
Particularly if you're not charging them, pro rata, the amount of the gas bill, or it's not separately metered, those sorts of things. That's why you set the rate at a certain
I would
level
have
so
a
that you can
different
cover your
take
costs.
if the landlord would have put 4 years ago, look, I want you to stay here. Here's an offer. I'm not gonna raise your rent for 4 years, but at the end of 4 years, I'm gonna have to because, I've got these costs, but I'm gonna keep it the same for 4 years and pay these additional expenses. That didn't happen. Those expenses just got, in my opinion, plowed into and included in that 350 monthly charge.
Exactly right.
And if you look at the ordinance, it's really clear that a 12.85% increase is not called for in the ordinance, that only, as the gentleman noted, 3% or 3/4 of the CPI, Western Region CPI, whichever is less, not more. So if you look at the CPI in the nationally last year, is like 2.7%. I don't know what the Western one is, but I mean, if the tenants accepted 3%, they'd be pretty generous on that. As opposed to if you get the CPI, I don't know what that factor is.
Yeah, I don't know what the CPI is in this particular case, but it seems to me that these charges for gas, electricity, water, garbage disposal, and landscaping were all intended to be included in that 350, whatever it is, charge for your space. And that's all you ever paid for the last 5 years. And so even though your ordinance says base rent shall not include these things, it makes qualifications. It shall not include those things only if, in gas and water or gas and electricity situation, it's separately metered, and it's not. And with respect to water, sewer, and garbage, it has to have been charged to them on a cost pass-through basis, and it hasn't been.
I think it's pretty clear that that was included in the rent, and it's not over and above the base rent. The second question I have, of course, subject to the votes of my council brothers and sister, are where do we go from here? Can
Well,
we?
if you have section 5-5.5-4, which sets that at, either 75% of the CPI or 3%, whichever is less. And, if you go on the CPI you're talking about, I guess it would be a little bit less, but
It's 2.9.
not much.
2.9 last year for Western Region.
Western, so it's a little higher than the
So-
national.
So what you would
That base rate
what you would
of 3
do
bucks.
if you found
2.175.
This exceeds
3/4, right?
an allowable base rent increase.
By 350.
What you're required to do under your ordinance is to suspend that portion of it that is not collectible and retain the portion that is, and that is 75% of the CPI or 3%, whichever is less. So you would, let's just, for simplicity's sake, let's just use the 3%. You would just
761.
multiply the current base rent, whatever that was,
350,
by 0.03 and you'd be there.
Got it.
761.
Okay. So is there a motion to suspend the increase of 12.85% the rent increase, and to insert instead that portion which is collectible, which is the lesser of 3% or the 3/4 of the Western CPI, which, as we were told, is 2.9% or $7.61 a month. Is there a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second it.
Call the roll, please. And that would be effective tomorrow?
No.
Now,
Okay.
your order is effective immediately.
Councilmember Avalos,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson.
Yes, and Councilman O'Scara.
Councilmember O'Segura.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Oh, you forgot.
Councilmember Peel,
Trujillo,
sorry, I
sorry.
apologize. I was getting there.
Okay. And then, so that passes and the additional rent will be $7.61 a month. Thanks for coming up. With that, we'll move on to our next item, which is agenda item 4.2. And that's an action item, declaration of surplus property located at McCall Avenue and Nelson Boulevard, APN 358-08079, and direction to proceed with the Surplus Land Act process.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council again. This is a resolution declaring the 5.03 acre city-owned property at the northeast corner of McCall Avenue and Nelson Boulevard as surplus under protest, while preserving the city's position that an exemption under Government Code Section 54221 F1P applies. Staff recommends proceeding with the Surplus Land Act process, including issuance of a notice of availability to establish a clear path forward toward future disposition of this property. Fiscal impact is that future sales proceeds would return to city reserves once the property is sold. While this action also reduces potential legal costs and enforcement risk from the state. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, City Manager. Any council members have any questions for the city manager regarding this action item tonight?
No, it's more of a cleanup operation.
Do we have any members of the public with any comments before we bring this back to the council? Okay, with that, we'll bring the matter back to council. This has been frustrating. This is a piece of land that was purchased. It's a piece of land that was purchased without an appraisal for $1.5 million. If you look back, it was purchased by the council in summer of 2023. There were no specific plans that had been developed for the property at the time of the purchase. It was noted that was suitable for various future city facilities that are part of the city's capital improvement program. This 1.5 million came out of the general fund balance. This was, the staff recommended at the time that council approve the purchase and sale agreement, authorize the city manager to execute all the documents. To complete the purchase, the staff report was signed by City Attorney Megan Dodd and City Manager Fernando Santillan on June 9th, 2023. The documents do not contain a separate standalone appraisal report for the property. The 1.5 million purchase price reflects the authorized offer made by the council prior to the June 19th, 2023 meeting. In my opinion, this was an ill-advised purchase. There was no appraisal, and I find it quite ironic that the city is being told by HCD, which the city attorney talked about earlier, that this land is subject to the Surplus Land Act. Be that as it may, it's going to cost the city time. It's already cost the city a lot of money. 1.5 million from the general fund. If anybody's been following the city and the finances over the last few years, we sure need that money, and we could use it for general fund, which pays for salaries to provide city services. So once again, this is the state reaching in to the cities on items that are our responsibility and our ability to regulate our land. And I dispute any claim that the city did anything wrong in selling this land and putting it up for sale. We are doing what we can do to comply with housing and community development, but this is our land, and it was an ill-advised purchase, and we are using it now as a dump for the trash day, April and October. Pretty expensive trash dump, in my opinion. So yes, we will comply with the state. That's why we have it on the agenda item. But all the time that we take in, putting this out in this exercise is detracting from our city ability to sell this land to interested buyers and to put that money back into the city and our citizens where it belongs. We have any more comments? Do we have any public comment?
I would just add that it's actually worse than that. Because you've made your position to HCID very clear. It's all in writing. That's why we're doing all this under protest. We're reserving all those arguments. The real problem is this. We identified an exemption from the Surplus Land Act. That exemption applies because this property is zoned commercial. And the notice of availability they're requiring you to issue invites people to make proposals to purchase it, to transform it into residential property. And you're required to give priority to people that plan to build affordable homes within HCD's definitions. So we've made all these things very clear to HCD. And that's one thing I was attempting to point out with respect to being a charter city. You would have a much better position pushing back on them right here, right now, than you do being a general law city if you were a charter city.
So this is an example of why it's advantageous to be a charter city instead of a general law city.
Yes.
Thank you. Any comment from members of the public?
I have a comment. I just want to give clarification in regards to what went on. I just want to tell you how this amount of money was misused. Back in 23, back in 21, we purchased the empty lot on Huntsman and Thompson for the fire department, for the new fire station. That was a 4.2 acre parcel. We paid $546,000 for that. This is 1 acre more. So really and truly, if we add 130, say 150 more to that, that's probably what that land was worth. And we paid $1.5 million, which was way overpriced. That lot was for sale for over 15 years. Nobody would purchase it because it was too overpriced. The other thing is no appraisal, no comps. That was my frustration. And that's where I'm wanting to find out they're giving us such a hard time trying to sell this land. Well, where was the rights when they purchased it without an appraisal?
Where was the
Where
investigation?
was the investigation for that? That's my comment.
Public comment?
I have to say, Rose Robertson, 1057 Mill Street. I think it was actually over 20 years, not 15, that wouldn't sell for that amount. They wanted something extremely high. I remember that very well. And I also remember the summer of 2023, that vote again was a 3-2 vote. I remember that very, very clearly. And I have to say, Councilmember Avalos and Councilmember Oseguera were not on there at the time. Obviously, we know the two no's were Pro Tem Guerra and Mayor Robertson. One of the yeses was, we all know he's still up there. I'm just beside myself that legally they did this, thinking it was legal without the appraisal. Who does that? $1.5 million of taxpayer money. So I would ask the new city attorney, who obviously wasn't on at that time either, would you have allowed this to happen?
Cities aren't allowed to purchase property without properly designating the municipal use to which it will be put. My understanding is there was no identification of the use to which this would be put. So you can't really tell if they're buying it for a proper municipal purpose, which is a condition on exercising the power to do that, period. And you're right, it is absolutely commonplace for all cities to obtain an appraisal on property they are purchasing. Never have I seen a city pay the asking price for this property, which is what I think that happened.
It states right here, Government Code 37350.12. And this comes out of our general fund, taxpayer money, $1.5 million out of our general fund to purchase this. We have Mid-Valley Times here, right here in the front. Let's hope this is going to be on her front page. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Avalos, do you have a comment?
I'll tell you something,
ahead.
guys. Unfortunately, I wasn't up here when it took place on buying that property. You know, in the past, we always got an appraisal, anything we bought, you know, being in a council. But it's an old saying, you don't, you don't go out and go to a car lot and not know the price of the vehicle. And then the guy says $5,000 and you pay the $5,000 even though the car is only worth $1,000. That's insane. That's like you need the appraisal. It's illogical. If you don't have the appraisal, it's senseless. It's like buying a house. How much is the house? Oh, I'm just gonna say the house. Don't worry, sign the check and I'll cash it. Don't worry about it. And that's what happened, unfortunately. That's all I gotta say. We're not gonna
Public
do it
comment?
again, trust me.
Stellar Marisama resident. I don't even know where to start. As Mr. Avalo stated, anytime you make a purchase, a house, car, you gotta ask how much. You gotta get it appraised to find out the price. You can't just buy it, you know. Another thing, why wasn't there like an offer made or something? Why did they just do this? I don't understand that. $1.5 million, that's a lot of money, a lot. And this was all done back, right? Old council. That's when this was done. Okay, at the time, attorney, again, why didn't she question this? This was something legal advice that they had to take from her. She said nothing. I want to know, and Trujillo was up there, he was on council, and he has said in the past that that lot was bought for a senior citizen place. Was that in writing? Because our attorney just stated that there wasn't nothing written as to what this was going to be used for.
But Trujillo said in the past meeting that it was going to be used to build a senior citizen place. Was that in writing? Or was that just a word of mouth? Again, everything done should be in writing, recorded. This is just frustrating. How money was spent back then? 350,000 given away, 50,000, $1.5 million. I don't know, this is just frustrating. And this should be taken to the Department of Justice because this is not right. There's so many ways and so many levels. This is our taxpayer money. And just to do things without even consulting anyone they just went out and did it. Why? Because they didn't care. They didn't care. This new council cares because it's transparent. And people often get mad. Why do you monitor? Why do you want to know this? Why do you want to know that? Because of this same reason. We want to know, us as taxpayers, where our money is going. Thank you.
Okay, with that, we'll bring the matter back to council. It should be noted as well, as Mayor Pro Tem discussed at that land at Huntsman and Thompson, there was a specific purpose for that land. It was for the new fire station, and that includes the EMS facility. And guess what? An EMS facility is going in there, and a fire station will be going in there as well. So there was a specific use for that land. And that was 4 acres and was 140,000 an acre, as opposed to 5 acres that were 300,000 an acre. For no real purpose, no stated specific purpose. All right, members of the public, did you have a comment, Mr. Ray? Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to declare surplus property located as surplus property, the APN 358-080-79, and direction to proceed with the Surplus Land Act process?
Yes, make a motion.
Is there a second? Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Avalos?
Yes.
Councilmember Oseguera?
Yes.
Mayor Robertson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra?
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo?
No.
Okay, item passes. We'll move on to item 4.3, which is an action item. And this is authorization to replace flooring and reconfigure office space in finance, HR, and planning and building departments located at City Hall, awarding the contract to Core Business Interiors not to exceed $190,000. Report, please.
Mayor, members of council. As we have pointed out, the flooring has become an issue in both our planning and building department and our finance and HR department. In addition, we have trip hazards from that. And in addition, we are short on office spaces, private office spaces for our directors and high-level managers. We are recommending that we replace the flooring and also put in 1 private office for our finance director, 2 private offices over in the planning and building department. Those are through basically floor to ceiling height panel systems. They go in just about 10 inches short of the ceiling so that we don't have to deal with the HVAC systems and the fire sprinkler systems. And then there's a reconfiguration of the panel system. We are recommending that we do replace the current flooring with the high-grade carpet similar to what you see in the council chambers. Those are the carpet squares. They have a 15-year life on those. Our maintenance department, Public Works, is recommending carpet versus going with hardwood. In addition, I have recommended if council is not comfortable with doing a full panel reconfiguration with those offices, I've given you an alternative of just the flooring replacement only, not to exceed $50,000. Our procurement method on this is a piggyback contract utilized through a Fresno contract that are partners. Our project timeline is about 4 to 5 months out. That's why we're bringing this item to you now. No funds would be expended until the next fiscal year. It currently is in our next budget that will be coming to you soon. It is not a general fund project. It's coming out of our building and utility fund for a project. And I can answer any questions for you.
Does council have any questions for Deputy City Manager?
I have a question. So because of the fact that you followed that process, there was no reason to do an RFP? and follow the purchasing policy?
That is correct, and it's the same process that they used when they put the original panel system in also.
So you just piggybacked off of that?
Correct.
And the purchase price is 190, and that's the amount that we have it factored in our budget, and for our fiscal year, it won't be no impact for this year, it'll be for next year.
It'll be in next year's fiscal budget, not this year's.
And will that be a general fund expense or a particular account expense?
No, it's coming out of our building and utility fund.
And how much do we currently have in the building and utility fund?
I believe it's about 1.2 million.
Okay, so like 17% of that will be used to protect employees from further injuries due to the defective materials purchased
The materials were
or
not
defective installation.
defective installation. There weren't a glue down style flooring, which is what we needed. The panel systems are heavy, and so the panel systems and the amount of staff on that flooring has caused the flooring to start to move together, and so it's bubbling in some areas in our planning and building department. On the other side, in the finance and HR, it simply is starting to come apart. So we're using clear duct tape on top of it because
duct
we
tape.
have, yeah. So, because we have, shards of wood, that are coming up from the flooring.
I have a question.
Yes.
How long did you say it's gonna take to complete even if we do the flooring?
To order all of the systems and get them in, it's 4 to 5 months. And so this project would not be complete until about September or
I
October.
mean, if we have an issue that's a safety issue, why so long? I mean,
It takes, if we were to pull down the panel system, it's about $15,000. And so we could spend the money twice. And instead, we've chosen not to. And so we've used cones over in the planning and building department to identify the safety hazards. And then, like I said, we're using duct tape on the other side.
how much would a workman's comp claim cost if somebody got hurt?
I couldn't tell you.
I mean,
It would
rough
depend
idea.
on- It
I
would
mean-
depend on the injury.
Depending how bad they get injured. I mean, I think 5 months is a long time to correct a safety issue. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know. It's been like that for a long time. Even before I became a council person, this is my second year already.
But when was that flooring purchased originally?
It was in 2022.
2022. Got it.
And we identified problems with it starting about August of last year.
Last year. Okay. So, all right. And who will do the installing?
Core Interiors they have a flooring division. And so their flooring, they do school systems, they do a lot of business in this area.
And that seems to be the problem from last time. So
Yeah.
Cora will provide us with certificates of insurance,
Yes.
naming the city
We
as
already-
additional insurer if there are any
we have
problems.
That on file they've done a couple of small amount of work for us over this last year.
And it will also provide those 3 offices. With that space at the top, my question is, you said one of the main benefits of putting those offices in is
Good.
privacy. If there's a space at the top, does that defeat the purpose of privacy, or is there a
No,
wave machine?
because these are special panel systems that are thicker and they're soundproof. And so we have incorporated some glass up at the top to allow some of the sunlight to come in to create the natural flow of light. And so these were the same type of systems I've had in my previous employment, and they work very well.
Any other questions for the deputy city manager? Is there a motion to approve this item?
I'll make a motion to
Is there
approve
a
this.
second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Avalos,
Yes.
Councilmember Segura,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Yes.
Okay, item passes. Thank you. And that was for the $190,000 option. Okay, and now we will move on to our next item, which is our last item of the evening on our regular agenda, item 4.4, approval of resolution 2026-46R, adopting updated, it's not the last item, it's the second to last item, updated employment policies 2026-1 discrimination and sexual harassment policy Policy 2026-2, Workplace Violence Policy, and Policy 2026-3, Safety Plans. Deputy City Manager again.
Mayor, members of council, as I've gone through the Human Resources Department looking for areas of improvement, one of the things that needs to be updated are our current policies to be up to date with federal and state regulations. These are very important policies, so these are the very first ones that we're bringing to you. All employees are required to be trained on sexual harassment. They have very specific guidelines. Our current policy is 25 years old and very out of compliance. Our workplace violence policy was adopted in 2003 and is also out of compliance. We're also taking a very structured approach to a safety committee and plan for the city. And so we're wanting to establish a safety committee and a full safety plans that walk through all of the IIPP, which you've already adopted earlier, and all of the, the hazmat considerations, all of the different policies that we're supposed to have on site.
Thank you. Any questions for
Yeah,
the
I
Deputy City Manager?
actually do. But, this is, thank you for the update of this policy. It's important to update these discrimination or harassment policies for the employees and develop the workplace environment safety for everybody. And when you need to update, when you update these policies, I come from a corporation where we update policies, but also when we update the policies, we did the classes. Someone does a presentation on the board, whatever. We have our communication over there. He could probably do it. At the end of the proceeding, we got done. We made everybody sign a piece of paper. They really understood the new policies of discrimination and all this harassment and everything. That way, no one says, "Oh, I don't remember that." And you give them a copy. Not to be mean, everybody gets a copy. That way it goes in their personal file, everybody's personal file. And that way it's in stone. Anything that comes up, hey, it does happen. Trust me. I know that for a fact. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. I think we're actually backing up what we just talked about earlier, providing a safe workplace. This could have even gone in front of that because we're backing up this policy of providing a safe workplace and having steps to ensure that through safety committees, but also through engineering and through having a actual flooring that's safe and office space that accommodates people who work in them. And I think, we had, even going further back, we had that insurance meeting a while back, which was like 3.5 hours long. But it was important because we really saw that our experience modification is like the third highest of our insurance pool members. And so we have improvements to make. We have things to do. And this is definitely one of them, policy. And then what we just decided earlier, the implementation of that policy. So I think they both really go together. Their comments? Anybody from the public with a comment about this? Anybody online or on the phone?
Mayor, I see no hands raised.
Okay, is there a motion
I'll make a motion.
is there a second?
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Avalos?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra?
Yes.
Mayor Robertson?
Yes.
Councilmember Oseguera?
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo?
Yes.
Okay, item passes. Moving on to item 4.5. This is an action item. Consideration of commission, board applications, and subsequent appointments. Report, please.
Yes, thank you again, Mayor and City Council. This is for council to consider appointments to fill one vacancy on the Planning Commission and one vacancy on the Measure S Oversight Committee, both for partial terms expiring June 30th, 2027. The vacancies were created following member removals in March 2026 and were publicly advertised for recruitment. The city received 4 applications for the Planning Commission vacancy and 5 applications for the Measure S Oversight Committee vacancy. Appointees must be at least 18 years of age and reside within the city limits. With that, I will turn it over to council as to who they would like to fill these positions.
Thank you, City Manager. Looking at the applications, I did notice that there is no part for references. Did the city take those out of the applications? Because there used to be a section for references.
I'm not aware of that. I would have to get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you. We're going to start with the Planning Commission tonight. Are there any candidates for Planning Commission who would like to speak at this time? Anyone online or on the phone? Come on it.
Good evening, everyone. City Council, my name is Reyes Gallardo, 33. I applied for the Planning Commission just based on the current events that happened the last couple of months that affected the area that I live in. So I wanted to get more involved with what's going on with, of course, partials that the city has and making sure that sound judgments made and proper judgments are made where individuals are not affected as far as financially. So that's my case, and thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anybody online or on the phone?
Mayor, see no hands raised at this time.
Thank you. With that, I will call for
I'll make,
nomination
I'll make a motion.
for,
Ray Gallardo Jr.
okay, is there,
I read his application, by golly, it's impressive.
thank you, council member. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, would you call the roll, please, and go from there?
Councilmember Avalos,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson,
Yes. Councilman Trujillo.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Yeah.
Councilmember Oseguera.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for your willingness to serve, Mr. Gallardo. Our next item is for our Measure S Commission. Do we have our Measure S Oversight Committee, excuse me, do we have any candidates from this committee who would like to speak at this time? Please come up.
John Rea, 3514 Hill Street. I'm a resident. I come here before you, Mayor and City Council. I like to be involved in what the city's doing, and I like to use my experience working with city, federal, and state agencies, which I did when I was working for the railroad, BNSF Railway. I do have reference that I did put down on my application, since I know this is strictly voluntary. I thought I'd get my feet wet here, and like I said, help the people out as much as I can. As you know, that I volunteer myself for the city, as well as Knights of Columbus here, as well as American Legion. I'm an officer, so I just here to help out, here to work with you guys.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Ray. Appreciate it.
Problem.
Do we have anybody online or on the phone who would like to say anything at this time?
That's
Okay.
what I do.
See no hands raised online, Mayor.
I've got another comment from a candidate.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I also was an applicant for this position as well. I currently serve on planning at Parks and Recreation / Pioneer Village. I believe I became a great asset for both committees because I felt like I've made a great change in both planning and in parks and Pioneer as well. For example, our main focus right now for the Pioneer Village are the restrooms, so we're currently working on that as well as with you, the city. And for the planning, we've also recently we had a project over by the hospital that I proposed that a workshop would be done for the city because and just need more information on for it to be more clear, to make a decision as great as that. And it was a huge help. A lot of residents showed up. They were greatly appreciated. So I don't want to be, I don't want to, like, I'm a council member, all of a sudden, I don't want it to get to my head, but I believe I made a huge difference and I affected people's lives. So with that, I leave the decision to you. Thank you.
Right. Is there a motion to nominate someone for the Measure S?
Yes, I remember at John, the guy up there.
Mr. Ray?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, would you call the roll, please?
By the way, Avalos, yeah,
Avalos and
yeah,
Oseguera.
he did have a resume all the way across. I read it. Nominated John
Mr. Rea.
Gray.
You'll get it.
You're doing a great job.
Councilmember Avalos,
Yes.
Councilmember Oseguera,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Yes.
and Councilmember Trujillo.
Yes.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Rea. Thank you.
And Miriam,
Hey, one more comment over there. I read your resume. I guess you could fix the railroad.
but also Miriam, thank you for stepping up and being with us again tonight and helping out. We really
Thank you very much.
appreciate everything
We really
that you
appreciate
do.
you stepping up.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. My pleasure.
And happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, and now we're going to move on to our future agenda items. Council requests for future agenda items not subject to public comment. Items require a consensus. Does anybody have any future agenda items they would like to call for? Councilman Avalos?
Yeah, on our next, workshop, coming up, I like to include all the departments, their expenditures, as far as up-to-date expenditures that they have right now, as far as what they have spent right now on all the departments, like fire department, spent this quarter this much money, public works, every department's. I want to see where they're at as far as their dollar, as far as their expenditures. And also,
Yeah.
David Hahn, where he's at on his expenditures as well. Oh, my God.
Honor.
Honor Horn.
Sorry.
You
Wrong
mean
name.
Horn? David Horn?
David Horn.
David Horn, right?
David Horn, yeah.
Demabi and Horn.
Yeah.
We have a consensus for those items? Sure. Okay. I would like to check in on the status of getting that ice skating rink for our park. December is going to be here. This year is flying by. It's May, if you can believe it. And I'd like to get a status on the cost, where we can get it, if it's still available, and take a look at that, because it's been a hit where it's gone. Hanford, they do a really great job. I think they own their ice skating rink down there. I don't think we're there yet, but we
Yeah, they
should at
do
least
own it.
try
They
it out.
do, actually, they do own it.
We should try it,
They do.
or look at trying it. Number two, I'd like to look in the process of becoming a charter city, to take it from the concept to now the cost, and how we can put it on the ballot for this November. If we've got time, it sounds like the timelines are pretty tight. But let's take a look at it. All right?
Consensus on ice skating rink,
Yes.
Yes.
consensus on charter city process.
Yeah, take a look at it.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I just have one. I'd like to get an update on what our laws are for motor scooters. Because I know in Fresno, they've had two incidents that involved teenagers and one fatality just last week. And reason I'm bringing it up is because I have seen it with my own eyes here in Selma. And the person driving it didn't have a helmet on, just was crossing over streets, wasn't following the same laws as the motorists follow. So I'd like to see what the laws are in regards to that, because it's really dangerous.
I can provide an update on that one right now. We don't have any ordinance specifically related to motorized bikes, scooters.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but we could look at that, bringing that back as a discussion item or updating our ordinance to
Mhm.
include language for that.
Yeah, or even like the mopeds. I mean, there was two young kids, and I would probably say that they were younger than 10 years old. No, they were small mopeds, and they were on 99 driving around. Yeah, so I'm just, no, the ones I saw were in Selma. Yeah, and they were right there by Estrella, the restaurant. So I just think that they're hard to see, especially because they're a lot lower. And if a car comes pretty quickly, I mean, it would have took them out. So I'm just really concerned about it.
Yep.
Yes.
Consensus?
Yes.
Thank you.
Councilman Trillo?
Okay, it's not an agenda item, but maybe we can, talk to the school district, because sometimes I go by, right in front of the high school, on Wright. And man, some of these kids don't even pay attention. You know, I was waiting for the students to cross, they, they crossed, and the guard was already on the other side, so I started to take off. And this kid out of nowhere cuts right in front of me, didn't even go in the crosswalk, just cuts right in front of my car, and I almost hit him. And I opened my window, I go, dude, what are you doing? They just looked at me and kept on walking. You know, I mean, they're saying that motorists are, you know, the culprit in some of these accidents, but I tell you what, some of these kids, I don't know, man, they just cut across and, you know, that needs to be
Well,
relayed.
you
to
know,
this-
well, that we should relay that to the district, superintendent district.
I
that
can
they-
discuss with them.
Yeah, discuss it with them.
It's good. Okay, with that, we're going to, we need a consensus for that, or are you just gonna mention it to Superintendent Gomes? Oh, okay. Okay, good. All right, that we're going to move on to council reports.
Oh, yes. I got
You're
it.
on.
I had number, well, I have a little bit to say. No, no, no. I did start the day off looking at Mayor Course. Yeah, and I still look the same, good looking, and you know what I mean? Then I looked at my wife, she's still looking good too, so we're off to a good day. And, uh, and I said bye to my dogs too. But I also attended the cleanup day, the day we had cleanup that day and over there on Nelson. I went over there with my junk and threw it away, and I gave him donuts. I mean, you know, Han didn't go by and give me any donuts, so I gave him donuts. And then that same crazy week, we attended the Sikh parade. That was a great event. Yeah, it's over. I would say, I asked how many people showed up. They told me about 10,000 people showed up. A lot of we actually walked. Me and Scott walked, and other people walked, and I was amazed. You know, like we went to the tunnel and they had a graffiti, and we come back and they had it all cleaned up. Public Works. I got to give them credit. That phone call, my God, in less than 30 minutes, it was done. But also, we came back safely, and the graffiti it looked good. When you covered it up, it showed that we're on top of it. And those people that came out of town, they realized that, hey, Selma's on the mark. They clean up their mess real quick. And they do, these Sikh community, when they do the parade, they have people picking up the trash. And I give you credit every year. And also I attended the Christian Cafe, believe it or not, on Wednesdays. Uh, I attended that. It's always a good event to see the people that, it's a good event, people that, you know, can't afford a meal or just come out and kind of get together and have a chit chat. It kind of relieves the stress in life. It does. And I appreciate the people that take turns giving their Christian Cafe. Everybody takes a turn as far as giving free food away. Doesn't matter what organization you belong to. Uh, they're doing a great job in that particular area, and people come out and they're happy. They leave happy. Their souls are happy, and stress is happy. Good. That's a plus in their life. And also, I attended the Raisin Day Festival. By the way, I didn't get any rides. They told me I couldn't get on; it was too big. But it was a great event. The Raisinville event. Today, the weather was nice. The people were good. The entertainment was excellent. Excellent entertainment. People would come out, and when people come out to these events, get people outdoors. That's why we have these trying to get people out. It shows that not only we care about our community, but we care about our people that live in our community, but also we care about people who live outside our community that come here and have a good time and kind of relax take away the stresses in their life and just have a good conversation with other people they didn't know. It's a good event. It's like back in the old times, having a good time. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Trio.
Just a couple of things. One is I did attend the cleanup day. Second, I attended a roundtable discussion with Assembly Woman Perea that's trying to run, trying to get elected. It was a good conversation. The other one was, went to the carnival, and I think I made a fool of myself, but I was there trying to make a basketball hoop. I think I spent $150 and I got a basketball, which is cute. Had a couple of my renters there and they had a good time, which is really good to see the kids. And it's really important to understand that there are some people that can't make it to Fresno or go anywhere. So when they go to this event here, I was really, really proud of how it looked, how clean it was. Big shout out to Mike Hahn for the cleanup and the setup. Really impressed. The other one, I also want to congratulate the Raisin Queen. It was the FFA sponsored, really good group. Congratulations to her. Little notch up, I gotta do a shout out to my relative. She won the Parlier Roundup Queen, and she did a really good job. So congratulate to her. All in all, I think that these last couple of weeks have been really, I think it's been really eye-opening. We're going through some changes here in the city, and I think that, and what I mean by that is we're entering our next fiscal year. So all I just want to say is that I thank you, Ms. City Manager and Assistant City Manager, for sitting with me and talking to me last week. I apologize I didn't make the Finance Director's meeting I was scheduled, but I had a hearing for the EDD. So, but I generally do that with all department heads prior to budgets. Probably it's just standard for me. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Oscara.
Well, I don't have a mirror, so I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I'm sure I wasn't as good looking as this guy. That being said, I attended the chamber mixer, which was really awesome. I didn't go to the carnival. We don't have any little kids anymore, so kind of defeats the purpose. But I used to go for the juicy tacos. Those are always the best. What else do we attend? Was there anything else? I always come to City Hall. I'm always here bugging people. What else? We're getting ready to go to Vegas. The 17th, we're flying in, and hopefully we'll be able to bring some more stores, more retail to Selma. So other than that, I think that's it.
Great, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
I also attended the Raisin Festival on Friday night, and it was such a great event with, at that night, they had Elena Betancourt that was putting on, she did a great job with music, and there were so many people there, and like Councilmember Avalo stated, there's people that come from other cities and they just really wow Selma, what a great city it is. And that, just proves how great things are going, and that's what we're here for, is to continue to move our city forward. Saturday, I was also in the presence with the mayor to meet our Congressman, Jim Costa, that came here to visit our city in Selma. So he was really excited to go to the festival and walk around, talk to people, meet new people. And he even hit a couple of games with the mayor. So that was pretty nice. I also, on Sunday, attended the carnival again because I took my grandkids and they had such a great time. And that night, or during the day, I got to see Ruben Betancourt, which again is outstanding performer. This is what really showcases our city is, we never had music before at the carnival. And one thing about our chamber with Karen Foster, Trish, and all the chamber folks that are supporting it, want to do things bigger and better, and that's what it takes. And that's what they did. They brought music. They brought Elvis on Thursday night, and I heard they had a great turnout there. They brought a band on Saturday night, which I was not able to attend, but they said they had a good attendance. So that's what it's about, you know, and I'm really proud of the chamber, city staff that all pitched in, because that's what it takes. You know, it takes all of us to work together to make these events. So that was great. The other thing I worked on is our scholarships. We've been giving scholarships to Robertson Guerra Insurance Agency. We've been here 25 years, and we've been giving scholarships to Selma High School for 25 years. So that's something that we're very proud of, because we always like to see those kids go off to college, and then they come back and they let us know how well they're doing. So it really means a lot. And sometimes those kids, you know, are here to give back. So we're really proud of them. And other than that, again, I just want to thank staff, city manager, our attorneys, everybody, our administration. You know, everybody works so hard, and we're really appreciative of them. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say all the same thing. It was an honor to serve with our family at the Christian Cafe. It is very fulfilling. Nice to see the same people there. They're like family. We brought some good food, and they brought the good vibe and the good spirits. It was really nice. I attended their Earth Day. We had our planning commissioner Ramirez there, staffing one of the booths. Thank you for that, volunteering for that, Commissioner. I attended a Selma Cemetery District Board meeting. We have one of our board members in the audience today. Thank you for your service on that. Not a lot of people go to those board meetings, but you know, I got to listen to how they're doing their retirement plan and their endowment fund, which is very interesting, and it's all with public money. It's all with taxpayer money. So it's really important that, you know, we all take an interest in that. I attended the planning commission meeting, didn't say anything, but attended it. Again, we have our planning commission Commissioner Ramirez in attendance. Thank you for your service on that. I attended, the reason I couldn't go see Jeremy Elvis Pierce on Thursday at their opening of the Selma Raisin Festivals, I was at a Council of Governments meeting and a Fresno County Rural Transit Agency meeting that Thursday evening. Mayor Pro Tem and I, along with the planning commissioner who showed up for that too. He was everywhere. We gave Congressman Costa and his assistant a tour, and it was very nice to walk around with them. He showed a good arm with the baseball toss, and was very nice. Just you know, talking with him in more of an informal setting. Usually, when you know you talk to these people, the higher ups in the government, it's an official function, and this was more of informal, and it was kind of nice to talk about things like, you know, the importance of rural festivals, the importance of tradition, and of course, I hit him up for funding for our recreation center and for our regional park. And then, yeah, the Raisin Festival was it was a great draw. Really appreciate the city. It looked great. The park looked great. The PD was out there really watching everything. Appreciated the trailer out there. Selma was rocking. I mean, gosh, Thursday night we had something going at the church, you know, at the baseball field. We had here at Lincoln Park, and you could tell the people were immersed. And they weren't thinking about getting their cars broken into. They weren't thinking about, you know, getting knifed. They were thinking about having a good time with their family and celebrating community. And that's what it's all about. And I think that's what it's up to all of us to do our job to provide that experience for the residents here. And I really think that we delivered this last week. It showed why we live in our small town of Selma. It's a really fun time. And look at all the people that are stepping up for the commissions. It just shows that, you know, this is our town, residents, this is our town. And we have a responsibility to make it our town. And that's to pay attention to these meetings that aren't the most exciting things sometimes, but we pay attention, watch what's going on with our money. And then we staff these commissions that, you know, don't pay anything, but they are part of a fabric of our community to make our community responsive and responsible to our citizens. And with that, we will give you, the boss, the last word and move on to our last oral communications of the evening. Does anybody have anything to say before we say good night?
Stella Ramirez, I'm a resident. I just want to piggyback off of what you guys said right now, that, working together as a team, I want to thank you guys and tell you that you're doing an awesome job. Our city attorney, thank you for all the, the legal end of it. You just proved it, all of you, earlier with the citizens from the mobile park. Thank you for working with them and making sure that, laws were being followed and all of that. Council doing an awesome job, as well as our city manager, all of you guys. So thank you as as a resident, and I'm pretty sure I'm speaking behalf of other residents, that there is a lot out there going on now. It's just that I can't keep up. I forget. I didn't even know it was Mother's Day on Sunday. I can't keep up really. So, but I just want to say thank you, and we really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody online or on the phone with a comment?
See no hands raised, Mayor.
Sure.
Brian Maris, I agree. Thank you guys for everything that you've done. Neil, thank you for today. It was just heartbreaking just to hear those stories about those singers living in the park, and that that they should be able to just live stress free, not worry about anything, any increases. I understand that increases are happening in our state, but it's out of our control, So I'm glad we were able to work with them, meet them, not even in the middle, maybe not even a quarter, but less than that. So it really worked out for them. So I'm really happy for them. Yeah, like it was said, thank you staff, for everybody for putting their part in, for looking out for us, the citizens, the taxpayers. To our PIO as well, has been doing an amazing job showcasing our city. We had a conversation on Earth Day. Again, Miss Kudos, and yeah, it sounds looking really good. Thank you guys.
Thank you. With that, our meeting is adjourned. We'll see you guys at the next meeting. Thank you for coming.